Whoa, BMore4Real. BMore4Real. Another Wednesday.
Another
It's
Wednesday.
another Wednesday. It's
Oh,
another
ready,
Wednesday.
y'all. Ready.
Another Wednesday, man. BMore4Real brought to you by way of Real Explosions. Rated R for reality. Come get your weekly dose of reality, man. It's the realest conversations on the net. You already know what time it is.
Thanks for doing this, y'all. I'm Uncle Wayne. Welcome to BMore4Real. And it's another Wednesday.
It's another Wednesday. I'm your co-host, OMG, Danny. Let's go ahead and go into this BMore4Real moment. We're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Uncle Wayne, how was your week?
Daddy?
Uncle Wayne, how was your
I don't
week?
want to get into my week. Yo, I had one of them long weeks. All over a 65-inch television.
For real?
Yes.
I think you were telling me about that over the 65-inch.
Man, I'm telling you, I purchased a 65-inch television thinking it was a big deal. You know, this Black Friday, they decided to have a Black Friday early. Now I got the 65-inch television and the remote didn't work. Took it back, the remote didn't work again. So I'm saying, listen, patience here. So I took it back up there. So I brought it back in. They said, well, we don't see the receipt. I didn't have the receipt. When you bring it in there, they put it on the phone and they take it, the receipt disappeared. Now, you know Uncle Wayne and my technology skills.
Okay. You're not that tech. Yeah, well, I get you.
Know, I have no technology skills. And you know nowadays, if it's not in the phone, if it's not logged in somewhere, it just disappears. So we had to go through all that. So I have to go through this whole thing about this 65-inch television.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So I'm telling you now, when you think something is a deal or a steal,
be careful.
It ended up being a whole crazy experience.
You better watch out.
Man, I thought I had patience to go.
Now you gotta watch out. You know, it was some crazy stuff that happened too. Over this course of the week, our Instagram had got hacked, which is crazy.
Man, you called me about that.
Yeah.
BMore4Real Instagram. So if you went on there and got something for Bank of America, it was not us.
Or whoever, whatever the scheme was. The Instagram got hacked. We're gonna rebuild a lot of that stuff.
So kind of explain to me, it got hacked, but remember I told you, man, this skills again. How did they hack it? How is that possible? I'm thinking that.
Man, your guess is good as mine. Your guess is definitely as good as mine.
So
but it got hacked and they changed the name. It's like one. I think it's $1.BMore4Real or $1BMore4Real.
And then I saw the same logo that looked like ours,
right.
but it was a little off.
Right.
They go through all of that just to steal and to do crazy things.
And right when we had some of the best content that you could offer,
let me tell you,
and that you could provide, you know what I'm saying, to the people, it's
Stop
crazy.
Stop it, y'all. Find something else to do with your time. Make your own. Get your own podcast. Be interesting. You can't have a swag like us, but I'm sure you got something interesting to talk about besides stealing other people's things.
It's just the scam thing, you know what I'm saying?
But
like,
I don't.
It's
then I
it's
looked
all
at
stealing,
it.
just like you said. It's
Right,
just all stealing.
I
it's
just
crazy.
don't get the. It's just to disturb other people's stuff. You all that they went through to do it.
there are people out here that do that constantly and make a
Hey,
living off of it.
I see. You know what I mean? So once
Yep.
again, if you're done with the Bank of America scam, it's not us.
But other than that, how was your week, though, gang? How was your week, personally?
Personally, my week was it was okay. The Ravens did win the day after we had
Told you
the
we'll meet
podcast.
again, Raven.
You know we gotta talk about them, but the day after we had the podcast last week, the
Mm-hmm.
Ravens played on
Mm-hmm.
that Thursday, and we played the Bengals, and we won by 1 point. And Lamar Jackson was being Lamar Jackson.
Lamar.
Lamar looks like MVP. The defense scares the sugar honey iced tea out of everybody. The
You see,
defense scares the sugar honey
now
iced
you will
tea
see a
out of
good fight.
everybody.
I had to admit, I'm coming in there because the Ravens fighting. But now you can see a good game, a good fight.
Right,
Same difference. Remember when
right,
I
right,
said that
right,
what a
right,
good fight is?
right,
Nigga, put them dukes up. You
right,
know?
right. So stay tuned. We're gonna get into
Till we meet again.
we got some stuff for y'all, man. The gender war and all that stuff. It's a conversation that needs to be talked about, and people don't really talk about it. And we're gonna have video for you guys to see and everything else like that. Be more for real, rated
Be
off
more
for
for
real,
real,
brought to you by
y'all.
way of Real
Be more for
Explosion.
real, y'all.
We appreciate all of our viewers and subscribers. Like we said, we only on Instagram right now because our excuse me, we only on YouTube right now because our Instagram had got hacked. So we gonna build that up. But be more for real. Keep it locked with us.
And remember, when we come back, we always come back strong.
Just remember that, y'all. Again, welcome to Be More For Real.
All right, so
look, hey, you know where we about to go. We
hold on
before,
before we go ahead and get into it as well too, I would like to say that the Ravens are playing the Steelers this week, so this is a big week for us. Um, Anytime the Ravens play the Steelers is always a big week, so we in for it. Go ahead, shout out the Ravens, roots for the Ravens. We in Pittsburgh this week, and we gonna see how it go. But
right.
shout out Lamar
let
Jackson.
me use a scenario for this one. I remember I said a good fight. So remember, back in the neighborhood, they said, look, every time you come out that house, I'm going to whip your ass. You know what I mean? So the neighbor always know it's a good fight. Now, this might be a chance that this time when you come out, you might get your ass whipped. Do you see? Now,
Yeah.
everybody in the neighborhood looking for this fight. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, not here, but I just be humble. But I think we too much for the Steelers. I think we too much for every team right
See
now.
the neighborhood
Like,
talking.
seriously, like
This is how the neighborhood get to talking about the fight, right?
seriously, I just think we too much for them. You feel me? That's
I
just
love
my
Lamar,
take,
so
man.
I
Speak
watch
Ravens.
my mouth. You know
Yeah,
what
be
I'm
more for
saying?
real. Go ahead and clap it up. Ravens versus Steelers. Let's go Ravens. Be more for real.
Be more for real, baby.
We're not gonna go. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. The topic of the night, and it's gonna
Topic of
go.
the night, y'all.
It's gonna go several different ways. You know what I'm saying? Inside the gender war and things of that nature. It's gonna go several different ways. Now, I want to start with the presidential election, if I may,
Okay. That's one way to get into it.
because people automatically assume that we're gonna go right into where it has been on the
Bashing.
internet, right? No, that's not that. This be more for real.
Bashing women.
Right? No, we're not doing that. But be more for real. So during the presidential election, I want to say to see this program is made to deprogram you to what you've been
Yes,
programmed
that
to,
is
right?
exactly what we about. You have to remember
Right.
that. Look, whether we get 1,000,000 views or we get one, it is still Be More For Real.
This program is made to deprogram you to what you've been programmed to. So what I mean by that is like a lot of things I'm going to say. It could be controversial, it could be offensive, but see, that's not the intention behind it. The intention behind it is to speak facts and speak the truth, right? Do not
Facts.
don't try to listen to what I say, right, and try to think outthink what I'm saying. Just listen to what I'm saying for what I'm saying. And with that being said, let me say this. I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. Right when Trump first ran for president, he ran against Hillary Clinton, right?
Female number one.
And she's supposedly white. You understand what I'm saying? White woman. Well, she is a white woman. And then
You sure she was a white woman? Nobody questioned,
yeah,
was she a white
we
woman?
we know we know
No,
the
I couldn't
Clintons,
help that.
but yeah,
But go ahead.
she's not supposedly, but she is a white woman. And then the second time Trump ran, he ran against Biden and lost, who is a white male. But then the third time Trump ran for president, he ran against Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, and he won there. And she's a supposed black woman. So I know it might be hard to hear, and I try not to break it down so harsh, but I'm just saying, be more
Be
for
more
real.
for real.
It's likely that a woman will not run this country. And then you've seen it from the white woman and the supposed black woman. Just listen to what I'm saying and don't try to outthink what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying for what I'm saying. We had two women within the last three elections run for president, one white, one supposed black, and both lost. That tells you everything you need to know.
He slides in there, was supposed black.
And that will be a different spin on the gender war because people wouldn't think about the gender war like that and all that. But when you really think about it, a lot of the white women actually voted for Trump still, even though Kamala was a woman. And see, this is the thing: a lot of women were voting for Kamala because she was just a woman and because she was just a black woman. And this is the fruits of it. This is the fruits of it. And I believe the numbers and the
That,
economics behind it is that um, President Trump, President-elect Trump, he spent about $10 million on this campaign, whereas though um, Vice President Kamala Harris, she spent over 50 million, 100 million. She's supposedly in debt over the campaign.
oh, really? Really?
She's supposedly like
Oh,
$20 million in a hole or something because
oh, well,
those performers that she had,
you paid for them?
she paid for Glorilla,
Wow.
she paid for Meg the Stallion, she paid for a lot of those people. She paid $1 million to be on Oprah and all those other shows, but Oprah said she didn't receive a dollar of it. Whatever the case may be, this look. If I'm lying, I'm flying. That's what I'm saying.
Oops. It she just wasn't elected. And I'm not trying to shift here. I ran for mayor. If you believe in the person, you believe in the person. You still believe in the person. That's just how it is. Like if you go make a bet on something, you made a bet on it. You can't change the bet. I try to get people to grow up.
Right. Right.
Do you understand? Because it's like you bet on Kamala Harris to be president of the United States. That's what you did. You went on it and you put a vote on. That was a vote. You believed in it. So you can't change it. You really believe that she would have been a better president than Donald Trump. But it didn't, all the votes together, it didn't matter. Now the more votes believe that Donald Trump would be a better president. So what you have to do is now grow up and say more people believe that Donald Trump is a better president. But you know what? Instead, it didn't go that way. Now people are dividing more.
Uh, I totally agree to a certain extent, and I disagree. See, look, this is the thing. I don't care about Democrat, Republican. We have been sold out so long, right? And I'm just saying, be more for real. People gonna be Democrat, Republican, and they're gonna keep on pushing us down our throat. And
That
really,
needs to stop.
really, black people have been Democrat since
True
1960.
fact.
The majority of black people, I mean, like to the tune of like 90%. This is the first time they really got like 78% of like some black man vote, something like that, other than Hillary Clinton. which is another female. But as I digress, what I'm saying is that we got to tone it back. This show was made to deprogram people to what they have been programmed to.
Mhm.
So, like I said, these are the facts. Donald Trump ran against two women and one. He ran against one man and lost. So these are facts that, regardless of however anybody want to look at it, it's whatever. But now that Trump is in office, this is what we need to do, right? We lost that. How many people were willing to vote? Okay, the first thing that President Trump needs to do is pardon Marilyn Mosby, and he need to overturn all of her convictions and all that stuff. And everybody that was a part of that,
Wow.
and everybody that was a part of that, they
That's-
need to be out of there ASAP because he know about the business and all that stuff. For them to do
Yep.
that to Marilyn Mosby,
Yep.
are you willing to vote for that? Let's start with that. Let's start with that. Since Mr. President Trump is in office, can we start with the pardon of Marilyn Mosby? Let's start there. Number one, you feel what I'm saying?
That would have been Kamala Harris. That would have not been no Donald Trump.
Let's.
that
Well,
would
he's,
have been Kamala
he's
Harris.
already known to have those pardons. So
Kamala Harris.
I would
But
say
that would be
Trump
nice.
is more
But
inclined.
you know what?
But
you
I
right.
know it
That
would be
would've been
nice.
something
Let's
else
make
for
it
Trump.
happen.
But I
Let's
bet you
make it happen.
Trump would have probably been more.
It would be nice, and you know what? You know what would be more nice?
That's deep.
You know what would be more nice if Marilyn Mosby would be pardoned and she would switch and flip sides and become a Republican woman because a Republican
That's a deep-
president then
that's
let her
one
out
for
of there.
throwing.
Now that would throw you for a loop. Now
That will be
That
one
would throw
for you.
Now I'm not saying that she should be, and I'm not endorsing the Republican Party
That's
by no
deep,
means.
though.
Because, like I said, I'm a registered non-affiliate. But where do we go from here? Like we all battling. The results are already in.
That's what I
We
just
already
said.
went through that.
Yep. You're gonna have to.
But since
grow
Mr.
up.
Trump is in up, let's start dealing with this stuff. Get Marilyn Mosby pardoned. She should not be in there.
That's true. That's 100% true.
She should not be in there.
Because she was there for us, but we can't be there for her. That's the saddest part that I have, and I'm telling you.
Oh, we still got your back, Mosby. We
There
still
we
got
go.
your back,
We-
Marilyn Mosby.
and
We
definitely.
still got your back.
Because remember, you had ours.
And how many of the rest of us have her back? Or we gonna sit there and we gonna have Kamala Harris back? Let me say something about this too.
There
I mean,
you
I know
go.
we're talking
Go
about the
for it. Go
I know we're talking about the gender war and all this stuff. Let me say something
That's
about
out.
this too. We always want to vote and all this other stuff, and for various reasons, right? But we have to realize. I think it was maybe Elijah Muhammad was brought out, and I heard this from Brother Shabazz on 1010 too, and they brought it to light that Elijah Muhammad said that politics without economics is like symbolism without substance. And I'm gonna say that again. He said politics without economics is like symbolism without substance.
That was a deep one,
And
bro.
so I mean,
That's deep.
it
That
struck
might go
me-
over your head, but that's deep. You need to grab that and hold it for a minute.
It struck me as soon as he said it, and so this is how we defeat the people, and they don't want us to know this as people. See, forget the big presidential election and all that stuff. We'll get our turn there, and I learned this too from Dennis. Shout out Dennis from BMore4Real. Shout out BMore4Real. He was talking about how do you eat an elephant, right? There's an elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is how do we get our voting and all of that other stuff. There's a two-part thing I'm about to say here with the politics and economics and eating the elephant. So the elephant in the room is that black people aren't being heard, and the politics is of course the Democrat and Republican and all that stuff, right? Without the economics, without having the economical value to back you. So the reason why we are suffering the way that we are on the polls and our decisions and all that stuff is because we are not eating the elephant that Dennis was talking about, right? The way that you eat an elephant is little by little. I know it sounds crazy, but you gotta just take small. You can't just take a big leg and just say I'm gonna eat the. No, little by little. You understand what I'm saying? So the way that, and I think Tory Rose, when she was on here, she talked about that. Shout out to Tory Rose, who absolutely, this is what I'm talking about right now.
Absolutely.
We're eating elephants. People like Tory Rose should be in office right now. It don't matter if they Democrat or Republican. We had forgive me for not pronouncing his name, but the African brother who was
Ran
independent.
for yeah.
We had him on the set as well. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name because I don't want to mess it up. And we had different people
Right.
that was
I
running
can't
for
pronounce it
mayors,
either.
different
Absolutely.
Democratic
Do
parties, and
apologize. Right. We had them
different
all.
political
Yep.
parties.
Hey,
We
look it up.
we
Look it
had them
up.
all.
Look into our
We had them
our
all here.
show. You can find them all.
We had them all here. But the significance of that is that our political backing is not made by it's not backed by the economics. And how do we overcome it even if we don't have the economics? The way that we do that is we elect our lower officials. Stop trying to pay attention to all these big elections and thinking that we just going to, like I said, kill the elephant with a headshot to the elephant, take the whole elephant down. You got to eat the elephant slow. That's how, look, you apply what you know. There is wisdom, there is knowledge, and then there's wisdom. Wisdom is knowing what to do. Wisdom is the application of that said knowledge. So we have to apply the knowledge, what we're saying. So that's what I'm saying. We got to get our people in there at the lower levels, like Brother Wendell. We was talking about that earlier too. He got to get in office. You understand what I'm saying? We got to elect. It don't matter what Democratic Party that they belong to. We got to get our people in the lower elections, in the council, in the city councils,
watch this.
and all of that stuff.
This is going to hurt your feelings. I ran for mayor, and then, but this is where they knock them off at. We got to get them and make them stay raw, because that's where they get them off at. They go down and they get the ones that really feeling us, and then they get them on their side quick. Daniel, this is the part that makes you cry. I'm telling you, they turn them around on their side, and you all know it. We get them elected for us, and no soon as they get elected, they flip around and work for them immediately. So before they can even get up there, good, they already for them.
Right.
That's the sad part about it.
They could be bought out easily, and that's my problem with
it. That's our problem.
That's our problem. It's like we can be brought out for this, and,
but it's time for a change. That's why I say that's why we have this show, because we gonna weed out those things. We are. It's time for BMore4Real.
But let's go ahead and get into it too, Uncle Wayne. We're gonna go ahead and get into it. We got a video for the people. We told them we got a video, right? For those who stay with us, don't forget, like the stream. Take a second out real quick. Like the stream. There's a lot of spooky stuff. Instagram got hacked. It don't matter. We on our way up.
Subscribe, y'all.
Subscribe, not because that you like the channel, but just because you don't want that confirmation bias. Remember the show that we talked about confirmation bias. You don't always want to hear things that jive with what you got going on and what you thinking, because we have to get out of that space of having that confirmation bias, or else we fall into that trap of delusion and having our conscience seared with hot irons. If you know, you know. Let's go ahead and go into the video, because we shared this, and we're gonna get into this. Let's go ahead.
And I'm not going to tone police this man, but I do wonder what his black mother thinks about this shit. Other races of men all over the world are starting to see and be disgusted at how black men treat their women. I've seen videos of Asian men, of white men, of Hispanic men, even of Arab men, calling out black men for how they treat and publicly disparage their women. And for what? You think bashing your own women makes you look good? It only makes you look like a fucking clown. And those are the people that are liking and egging you on and commenting and praising you for doing that shit. One, they're either black men themselves that hate themselves, like you do, or they're fucking racist. And they're sitting back enjoying seeing you destroy your own community. You all have become the laughingstock of the fucking planet. And then you have the nerve to go online and cry and whine and complain that black women don't respect you. You don't give them shit to respect. Not only are you bashing your women online all the time, you're unaliving black women every 4 to 5 hours. You're unaliving pregnant black women. Femicide is a thing because of y'all. Y'all created all these single black mothers and then have the fucking nerve to go online and bash the single mothers that you fucking created. To go on these fucking podcasts, these manosphere bullshit, and tell everyone not to date single mothers. Black women are not only the most patient women on the planet, they are the most caring and the most forgiving and the most loving. Because they have to be in order to deal with not only your dumbasses, but a lot of the hate they get from the rest of the world. And after 400 plus years of slavery, Jim Crow, and oppression, and all the horrible things that white men have done to black America and black women, for white men to come out and check you on how you treat your women, you know it has to be really, really bad.
Whoa, be more for real.
Be more for real. Be more for real. Be more for real.
Be more for real.
Another, hey, do you see it? I mean, this is another way that he feels as though his interpretation of what he gets, hey, he's entitled to it, right? Hey, I don't agree,
Of
but
course.
he's entitled.
Of course, he's entitled to it, and I would thoroughly like to get into it. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, we're going
I
to.
wish somebody would come on. I mean, like, come on, can we have a conversation? Like, let's sit here, Mr. White Man. Let's sit here, Mr. Arab Man. Let's sit here, Mr. Chinese Man, and let's have this conversation. Um, Contrary to popular belief, and see, look, this is the thing about the gender war. There are several startling things. Like I said, this program is made to deprogram you what you have been programmed to.
For real, remember that.
And I was already saying that online. Like, we lost touch with reality because, they had this woman, right? And this woman said, "Oh, I don't need a man for anything. If I need my car fixed or if something's wrong with my car, I just call a mechanic." And so the logic with that is like it will still be another male that's going to be servicing your car. Like males are still needed. So the logic is missing between the connection is missing. And a lot of times, men, we have face scrutiny and black men as well. And like I said, I'm an advocate for black men. And I have to put that out there. I'm an advocate for black men and for black families. Because so often we hear that you aren't ish. And we've heard this on TV, on television. This is how they portrayed us and all this other stuff. And then they turn around and they adore us and copy all these styles and all this other stuff that we have. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that we do for some reason is being copied. So the two, it seems like a dichotomy, but actually it's in a symbiotic relationship kind of sort of. And it's disturbing. Because women will want equality until it's time to be equal. Like if we're gonna be equal, like why don't you want to be equal in a draft? Why don't you want to be equal in the statistics of homelessness? Why don't you want to be equal in the statistics that don't benefit you? It's only equality when the statistics don't benefit you.
Such as, explain more.
Such as they talking about wages for money. Like men get paid more than women. That's not true. You cannot get paid more than a woman because you're a man. If y'all work in the same job, y'all get paid the same hours. That's totally not true. The men that get paid more money are the men that's doing the work like outside. You understand what I'm saying? The men that's actually in the construction in the fields, they doing that work.
So if it's,
You understand what I'm saying?
if it's two positions and a woman has a position, a man they have that position, they both make the same amount.
Correct. Correct. Absolutely. And it's illegal if they don't. Then if they don't in that instance, then it's
Was it always that way?
yes, for the most part. Because it's a job is a job. Look, this is what this job pays. We can't afford as a company to say, oh, we're gonna pay you more because you're a male than a female. Not unless this job really relies on strength of men and they just hiring women just because they got to save face, knowing that they can't pull this type of weight. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that expectation has been put on the world, and it's been put on the world to fool us. It's been put on the world to fool us because, like I said, when times get hard, we're gonna need the men to step up. They're gonna be looking like, where the men at? The men's supposed to play this role. The men, we know, God damn it, we know the roles we supposed to play. But what the hell role are you supposed to play as a woman? We don't know that shit. Can't nobody say nothing about that. That's the issue right now. Like everybody is taught how to treat a woman. You raised by your mama, you got respect for your mama. What about your daddy? Oh, your daddy ain't ish, because that's what your mother taught you. No respect for the man. And let me tell you this. This is how the gender war has gotten us because the old folks and even the Bible say charity starts at home, right? And so when we start to apply this stuff, and this is what I was talking about with knowledge and stuff, when we start to apply this stuff, right, um, we start to see that when we start to apply this stuff, we start to see that um, families is what makes economies and communities thrive. That's what keeps families and communities thriving. So if we have chaos in the home, if our home is corrupted, right? Remember the scripture said, a house divided against itself will not stand. So if there is chaos in a home, of course you're not going to have peace on the street. You understand what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
And so the fact that you don't have a good homecoming, it means that you're not going to have a good outbringing when you come out in the public into society because you wasn't raised like that. Too often, I think that we as black people, especially these young black people, I guess in my demographics, we think that we can raise these kids from all these trauma standpoints and won't nothing be wrong with them because we already endured worse or something. I don't know, some crazy type of mentality, right? And I think in order to break the generational curses, you have to face those curses and stop doing those things that we went through as ancestors, the stuff that wasn't working. You understand what I'm saying? When you seen stuff that you didn't like, that mommy or daddy did, and how they treated their kids, when you have kids and all that stuff, it's up to you, and it's your responsibility to change that. But with these gender dynamics, what they're doing is they're pinning a man against a woman, and we're not equal at all. When it come down time to it and all this other stuff, women want the authority of men. You want the same responsibility, but then when it's time to carry the same responsibility, imagine if it's a bunch of groceries and hubby went in the house and sat his tail and on the couch while you take all the groceries in the house.
That wouldn't quite be equal. So you
So
give
when are
me
we
an
equal? Are we
example.
equal when it comes
Which
down time to
that
carry the heavy load? Are we equal when it comes down time for the
to
responsibility of discipline? Are we equal when it comes down time to you the man? You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be able to get this done because it's your role. I mean, it's ultra convenient, and that's what I hate about feminism. That's what I hate about the gender war period, because really the way that God ordained it, the way that the Most High Yahweh ordained it, is that men take care of the woman. He is the head of the woman. The Bible does say rule over the woman, and they don't like that. But even in the vows when you get married, it say to honor and obey, and even in the vows, it tells the man to love the woman like Christ loved the church. Okay, we get that. We get all that, right? But so often we are caught up in how the family dynamic works, which is why we won't go anywhere. Notice the families that are successful here. We brought it up on this channel. They come over here and they have family and they make it work. The Latino people, even the illegal Latino people, and the illegal European and illegal Africans, and all the illegal immigrants that come over to America, they come over here, they set up shop, especially in the hood and all that other stuff, and they make a way because they have family, and they come over here with nothing. And see, we've been over here a long time, and they've been trying to destroy family for a long time. They've been separating the man from the children, the woman from the. They've been separating the mother from the daughter, the father from the son. They've been doing this since 1619.
and then some.
So this gender war ain't gonna go like how you think it's gonna go. And I know a lot of women gonna be hurt and they gonna be in their feelings, but this is something that needs to be talked about because don't nobody care about your feelings when it comes down to life. This is how women. Oh my goodness, the women in this world, they, like I said, they, it's proven they want the authority of a man, but want the privilege of a woman. Because when something happened to a woman, it's like, oh my gosh, look at what these men are doing. He talking all this stuff about femicide. We never talk about how females have off men and all that other stuff because of their emotion. We never talked about how they drug and all that stuff. We never talked about how the females had men raise children that wasn't their own all throughout their life and try to hide it as much as possible. We never talked about that. We never talked about how the system makes it legal for women to extort men. We never talk about that. But let us talk about what happens to the women, especially the black men or whatever. And then we got white men thinking that they're comfortable enough to step in, knowing goddamn well they play a role in the system of destroying a black family. For instance, abortion. And a lot of people are fighting over abortion, and they got these women thinking my body, my choice. But why do you think that the government choose to put abortion clinics in the hood? Remember, my body, my choice.
So
Why do you think they choose
another
to
story.
put abortion clinics in the hood?
Well, hold up on that one. That's a whole nother story to get in. But
I'm just saying because we have been systemically. We got a white man telling us, I don't care, a white man, Earth man. A lot of those people are our oppressors. We are part of a slave trade. We didn't ask to come here. And our ancestors have been dealing with stuff, and it's not like, okay, you haven't been through it, you haven't experienced it. Like, no, what about what you're going to do for our ancestors and why we are still experiencing mass incarceration, not knowing that the war on drugs was the war on black people?
it gets deeper.
So the nerve of a white man and the audacity of a white man to even speak, knowing that even the abortion clinics were started by Margaret Sanger. See, this is the deprogramming that we're about to do. Where does this stuff come from? Where does this stuff come from? Where did Planned Parenthood come from? Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger believed black people were weeds, and you know the rest of the story. You know the rest of the story. And that's why I say that's why they put abortion clinics in the hood. And while they think, well, we know that black women are not the only women that are getting abortions and stuff like that. We still know that a lot of black babies are being aborted because it's so easily accessible. These people gotta travel. They put that stuff smack dab in the. You ain't gotta go. No,
And that part where me thing when you said so accessible abortions.
right.
And that part is crazy.
And it's not to them.
It's
And
insane.
this is my thing about liberals. And I'm not a conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican. I'm a registered non-affiliate. How liberal will you go to where as though you got men competing in women's sports and all this other stuff? Who is going to say something? Who is going to check these people on this stuff?
Listen,
This is not right. It's not right.
but it always goes to this, Daniel. We don't control what's ours. We don't control our family. We don't control the rules and regulations, policies and procedures for our own generations and our families. Listen, we got sickle cell that's major in our race. Have we worn it out with research? No, we don't even get into that because our family dynamics in that is haven't concentrated on that because we have not pulled together. We have separated. We're killing each other on a rapid speed. Do you understand? Remember, I said that if we kill each other in our neighborhood, we they lock each other up and they go work for the white people.
Right.
Get it? And then when they finish or whatever, they send them right back to the neighborhood.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
And I'm glad you mentioned that because that's what I was saying about the gender war too. Because if you go looking and you go digging, you're gonna find enough dirt on either side. You're gonna find enough trifling women. You're gonna find enough trifling men that did a lot of trifling stuff on both sides, right?
And it gets deeper than that.
But a house divided against itself will not stand. You know what I'm saying? And Satan he came to divide. Came to divide the house. You understand what I'm saying? A thief cannot suffer. A thief cannot suffer the house unless he bind a strong man first. It's the same concept, and so we have no true concept of family, and this is how we overcome. And this is why we're saying this is a deprogramming because we need more black families. I don't care about how other people feel about it. We need more black families because these are the people that's going to continue our generations going on forever. And in order to have a black family, we need to have a certain code of conduct um on the way that we carry ourselves, on the things that we do in public. And see, that's where it comes from, the economics. We don't have shared economics. That's why we get our money, and as soon as we get our money, remember we talked about it, the black dollar lasts 6 hours in the black community
It's not taught.
because we are not taught the group economics
But
and
watch
all that
this.
stuff because we don't have the family to sustain it.
Not to cut you off, you ready for this? Remember I talked about this? Let's go all the way back to where we're not teaching. Remember, head of the household need to be the man. The man of the household shouldn't tell a child about Santa Claus. We mess it up straight from the beginning. You teaching a child about Santa Claus. People say, Uncle Wayne, that doesn't make sense. I'm gonna show you how it starts out as a kid. You teaching a kid about something that don't make sense. If you be good, a white man is going to give you gifts. Not teaching the kid this is hard work. We work hard for this. You understand? This is one gift. And the gift is from then whatever it is you fill in. You learn them from the beginning. But when you look in their eyes and create a lie, do you understand? You break it
Right.
from the beginning. Now, who's the head of the household? That shows you right there the gap. Because if the man is not strong enough to stand up and say, I'm not going to lie, or if the females say, oh, you need to lie for the child, I can tell you right there who's the head of the household. That's the same one who try to have the big wedding. Instead of spending the money on the getting ready for the marriage, you spend it all on the wedding. See,
Right.
these
Right.
things that
Right.
shows you who the head of the household.
Right. You said a lot. You said a lot in that very short
You
context.
see, these
We're
are
gonna go ahead and
things you
clap
need
that
to
up.
show.
Hold on. We're gonna go ahead and clap that up.
Ooh.
Be more for real.
Be more for real.
Be more for real. We're gonna go ahead and clap that up. And see, the thing about the gender war is this. Look, it is psychologically abusive to keep treating men like this. And I look.
Men treat themselves like that, Dan.
I've been studying this for a long time. But no, look,
You treat
hold on.
yourself like that.
Hold on.
Women don't have the power.
Hold
to
on.
do it.
Hold on.
Remember that.
Okay, if they
Women
okay.
don't.
This is what I'm saying. I'm
People
not saying
only do to you what you allow. And God didn't create. God created you to be a man. You have to act like what God created you to be.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm
Stop
saying.
trying to blame Eve.
Hold on.
Can't do it.
Hold on. This is what I'm saying. All this equality stuff. Let's really ask ourselves.
Take your balls out of
Let's
Eve's
take a step
hand.
back. Let's take a step back and let's ask ourselves about equality and the psychological impact, right? So let's say, right, that in reality, a woman and a man is equal, right? She put her hands on you, it's like nothing. Okay, you're supposed to wipe it off. Okay, they're gonna laugh it. They're gonna laugh it off. Look on the internet. I lie to you not. When and see, this is the deprogramming. This is where it begins. Because y'all see the stupid shit, right? Y'all see the stupid stuff. And I'm not going to excuse my language this time. Y'all see the stupid
true.
stuff. When
Y'all
these
see
women
that
go
thing.
ahead and they act crazy, they do all this stuff, they bust these man cars up, they do all this other shit, they all laughing and all this other shit.
Yeah.
It's all fun and games when they fucking with another man.
Yeah.
That shit is all fun and games, right?
Do it in reverse.
But do that shit in reverse.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a woman here. Look how the internet going to
Shoot
frenzy. I told y'all, just like they played with the election, they gonna play on your emotions just like that shit every single time. These women do shit. They get involved in stuff. They set people up. It's a lot of stuff women do. But if we are going to be equal, right, and we're going to be treated like equals, then if you rise up on me, you should be seen as an equal threat as a man then, right? Right or wrong? But no, that's not how society teaches it. That's not how society that's not how society reprimands men.
True.
When you put your hands on a woman as a man, you're gonna get your issue dealt with. And that's crazy. But the same society condones these women keep on doing the stuff that they do.
True.
Two men.
Yep.
And a lot of it is legal.
Yep. And it makes no sense. But watch this. If these laws were written and done correctly, led by black men, this is when I say that. Black men need to change these laws.
Right.
We do.
And see, but we're not going to get the vote of the black women. And you can see that. You can see that. This is part of the gender war that I'm telling you about. Because
I bet you will if you did it right.
No, check this out. White women voted for Trump. You best believe that Trump just didn't get in office because of white men. Women outnumber men to begin with. So if we want to just look at numbers based on what they are, women outnumber men to begin with.
It's the delivery. I do believe it's a delivery.
White women voted for Trump too. Because the ones that are loyal to their party, and that's what they're supposed to do. They're going to be loyal to their
party.
Do you not think that Chinese women would do the same thing for their Chinese man? Do you not
It already showed.
Do you not think the Italian woman would do the same thing for their Italian man? Do you not think that the Latino woman wouldn't do the same thing for the Latino man? It's only the black man and black women that's divided in that context. And so that's the truth behind the gender war.
It shows. But
it shows.
We have become our own worst enemy. Divide and conquer.
I'm saying the conflict on the psyche. The conflict. Okay.
Divide and conquer.
If you are
that's what's happening.
Okay.
That's what's happening. Listen.
Okay. If you are equal, right? This is what happens, right? See, I don't know if women know or not, but you have to know this. If you are equal and you're the same as me, right? And let's say somebody challenge you, right? And you don't mean nothing to me. I don't know you from a can of paint. Or I seen that video with a guy. He was like, man, I don't know you from a pan of cane or something like that. It was a video, a little short video that be floating around social media. But he said, man, I don't know you from a pan of cane, but you don't know I'm from a pan of cane. And let's say somebody is fighting with this man, right? On the street. You see two men just fighting on the street, right? You don't care who winning or losing. You're not going to jump in. You understand what I'm saying? You're not expected to jump in, nigga. You gotta hold your own. If you lose, you lose. You win, you win. That's what unequal feels like in the psyche of a man. But if you mean to tell me, okay, this is a woman, and you see a man out there fighting a woman, and I'm supposed to step in. Now you mean to tell me that the woman is some kind of inferior to a man, and don't try to think about what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying for what I said. If it's expected of me to jump in when I see a man beating a woman up, then that is not an equal. Psychologically, what is equal about that? Because if it was happening to another man, I would mind my mother effing business. And I would let them men work out what the hell they got going on. So we got a psychological, chemical imbalance in society, and they keep on perpetuating that through that damn feminist agenda. And I do not care about what people say, because if men are still expected and respected based off of protecting women, and that's what we're supposed to do, then it's incumbent upon women to listen to the guidelines of men when they give you a guidelines on how to fall in line with that protection.
That's why I say we can't have it both ways. That's why I said we got to make a decision on how we're going to handle this. We can't have it both ways. That's the confusion. That is actually the confusion. But you see, if we get this correctly, one more time, that's why I say the rules and regulations have got to change, Daniel. This is why I say we're coming in now, things have got to change. We got to tackle this abortion thing. It has to be tackled. People you can't tell a woman what to do with her body. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying to tell a woman to do with her body, but we have to decide. And before we get going, hold on. We're going to talk about abortion. Hold that thought 1 second, Uncle Wayne. Hold that thought. We have some comments, and I am sorry.
Listen, we apologize, but we're trying to pull this together.
Bobby B is here in the house. Bobby. They said Von Diesel in the mix.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Robert Blunt. He said, is that Von Diesel, the poetic musician? And then Astute Perceptions, they said, true. And then Renee, we appreciate you for being back. She said, "Good evening,
Hey,
everyone. Just
Renee,
thought I'd
welcome
jump
back.
in
Welcome back.
and
Welcome back.
support." Oh my goodness, we appreciate all the viewers. We appreciate all you
Absolutely.
guys. Actually,
Absolutely.
our Instagram got hacked. We ain't worried about that. You know what I'm saying? We still growing and subscribing. Tell them to join the conversation, whether you agree or disagree. We appreciate your comment nonetheless, and we're gonna bring it to the forefront. Now, go ahead and tell us about the abortion thing ongoing.
Listen, we gonna have to be able to bring that up, and this what I'm saying. As black men leading, we gonna have to be agreeable and disagreeable, and to agree. And once again, it's not about the body. We can't tell you what to do with your body. Your body is your body, but it's the body that's in your body that the world has to understand,
Mm,
because that's the only way we can get here. Do
mm.
you understand? So agreeable, we have to talk about that. That was God design, not ours. God design. So that's something we have to all agree together.
Well, of course, we're gonna have to all agree, and regardless of how strong I am with my opinions, it's still an opinion nonetheless, and we have to acknowledge our opinions for what our opinions are, and then we have to acknowledge truth of being truth. Abortion is just one of those things, but my thing is the whole thing with the gender dynamic, and I wanted to really nail this and bring this hammer home because it is a psychological attack on men. Like if women really are our equals and they expect to be equal, when are we gonna be equal when it's expected to take out the trash? It don't matter. You just came home from work or whatever, whatever. Nigga, take out the trash. What? I mean, I don't know. Maybe there are men that have their women take out the trash and stuff like that. Whatever, however that dynamic works, whatever. But for the most part, we know our jobs. We can't just assign gender roles when it seems convenient for the feminist community. It's ultra. It's ultra. Chaotic and it's ultra um, counterproductive to what we're trying to get done as a society. And I don't care how people really view or feel in particular about it. I don't think other races and cultures of people are particularly arguing about who's going to eat first. We have our race, right? Our race as black people, we arguing about who's going to eat first, the children or the man in the house. Like what other culture? Other cultures do what they do. You understand? Whatever their culture is or whatever, they don't argue about them, fuss about it. One thing that they do know, the other cultures, the man ain't gotta be rich and none of that stuff. The man is the head of the household or whatever. They got roles that they play. We have been tripped up by the enemy so far that we realize that we are equal somehow, and then we realize that we're not at the same breath on some quantum
But
mechanical stuff. I
you
don't
know
get it.
what, Daniel, what blacks haven't done? We haven't, we really haven't understand what freedom is all about. I don't want us to take that in a crazy way, but we really don't know what being free is. Seriously. Just like I say, we you have to date, learn to be compatible. Just like you said, take out the trash and all that. Learn being compatible. Sexual is another thing too. People get in a relationship, they ain't even sexually compatible. And you still in a relationship.
Well,
Just
well,
true
well,
fact.
well.
That's why people they creeping and doing all this. And then I told you when we had that other guest on there, and they and I was trying to explain to her, I've like I've done this 101 times, being the world greatest counselor. When you find out, with the female find out who the man creeping out with, how you creeping? And she's all distorted when you find out. It's like, because that's what it is. People are just not compatible,
Right.
and no matter they've been together all that, they're
It's
just
a
not.
mess. A mess.
And that's when I say, take our time. We got a long life. If God has blessed us to live, we got a long life,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to just take our time and enjoy it.
Mm, mm, mm,
That's
mm,
all
Let's go ahead and get a
we
round of
do.
applause for that.
You know, God has blessed us, and there's plenty of
We have
people
more
out here.
comments.
You know,
Renee Estee says, oh, okay, okay. She said, "Hey Daniel, do you remember me? This is Sonia Isabel. I used to be on the radio with you and Christabella Drummond from Canada, the Waywalkers. Yes, I remember you. Of course,
Uh-oh.
of course, song. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and I
Uh-oh,
gotta do it.
Sonya, I did not know.
I did not know. I did not know, but I definitely remember you, Sonya, and I appreciate you for tuning in. What a pleasure it really is. She said, I know I'm under a different name. It's my stage. It's her stage number, stage name. I got you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much, Sister Sonya. I appreciate you. Of course, I remember you. Of course, I know you. For sure, for sure. Um, Astute perception. He said, "Be more for real." We
Yeah.
appreciate that. We appreciate that. And then, Sonya, she said, yes, we're equal. However, there are different roles that we play. There you go, Daniel. Exactly, exactly, exactly. And then astute
You need to
perception
play your
said,
role.
"Hey, we got people from Canada here."
But you
Astute
gotta
perception
play
said,
your role.
"Canada is be more for real." We appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all.
That's when the crowd if it never was one.
We appreciate y'all, man. We
Yeah, I love
appreciate
that.
y'all.
I love
We
that. But
appreciate y'all.
listen, but you even so, you gotta play your role. That's
Right.
the thing.
We are equal. We are equal in the role that we play. And see,
Yeah.
we playing games with our children, and this is
Oh.
what I'm so upset about the
Different
millennials because
scenario.
my generation is playing so hard with this relationship with this gender war thing that it's impacting the kids. So many kids being pulled up in broken homes. People like Margaret Sanger, she's sleeping, she's resting in peace, knowing that she set out to do a job and it's being accomplished. And that's what I despise about what is going on. And I know it's tough to hear a lot of stuff that men have to say as far as for the ladies and things like that. I don't think what we're saying is disrespectful. They want to say, like he was
This is the
saying,
truth.
the stuff that we're saying is disrespectful. When
And-
asked though, when they were asked what do men say that is disrespectful, they choose to bring up facts. Like when men say that women are married to their degrees, like 90% of women divorce their men and all of that other stuff. Look, these are facts. This is not stuff we're not worried about and concerned about. Um, what the case may be, individual to individual. That's not what we're talking about. We are talking about families being destroyed. We're talking about why women are choosing divorce. We can deal with that, and then we can move on. But if we like, I want to drill that home. Like, and see, I believe in the Bible, and of course, Sonya know. Shout out Sonya and the Stu production. I'm pretty sure y'all know if y'all was on the Waywalkers from way back in 2015, almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
That was almost 10 years ago. Waywalkers was 2015. But if you know, you know, I believe in the Bible, right? Elijah Muhammad, he is a Muslim and all that stuff. He believes in the Nation of Islam. But like he said politics without economics is symbolism without substance.
Which is deep.
It's like symbolism without substance. And that's something that has to, I don't care if it comes from a cow, a donkey, a dog, a child, a woman, a male, a female. It does not matter to me. The truth is the truth, and that's what I'm gonna build my foundation on, the truth. And these are some things that we need to acknowledge. And so, in order to have these economics and this political power, we need to redetermine and evaluate how we are using our families and utilizing our families, because these families are creating the communities. Notice how the old folk back in the day used to say charity starts at home, and that's in the Bible, by the way. But let me tell you how practical this is, because if you have home training and you have love at home, then you take that out to the community. Then that community takes that out to the neighborhood. That neighborhood becomes a region. That region becomes you know, it keeps growing exponentially from there. One could chase 1,000, two could chase 10,000. You know how that is. But the reason why we are so corrupt at a general level, especially as Black people, on a general and on a global scale and on a public scale, is because our homes, our very foundation, has been impacted and corrupted. So if we don't get, if the charity don't start at home, if the love is not given at home, how can we expect to get that love on the street and from somewhere else other than home? See, I'm gonna go ahead.
We're not getting.
I'm gonna go ahead and clap that up real quick.
We're not getting that any. That foundation needs to be there.
Our Black families need to continue. It needs to grow. It does. And I'm gonna tell you this: head of the household, we need to decide who taking out the trash, what taking out the trash, who making the money, all of this. This is what I'm saying. We need to understand. First of all, if you date and learn each other instead of jumping into relationships, and that's what I get on there. Stop trying to get these big extravagant weddings. I hate people who have them big weddings. It tears me down. I tell these people there, it is not going to
Not you
last.
hate them, man, but I
It's
get what you're
not
saying
gonna
though. When you
last.
see that
Yeah.
they spend so much money
And
for
then I look, and then I
a
look at the
wedding.
guy, and then I look at the guy and the feet. And I'm not knocking any of you. I'm not no hater of those big weddings, but I'm looking at you and saying you gotta put that into the marriage. It is so important about the marriage because you need the house, you need to set up the stuff for the kids. There's so much stuff you need, and you know that no matter what, you gotta put that investment into the marriage.
Mm, mm.
I tell you that because if the guy keep allowing all of that, you go to show is not. Remember, I keep saying that who's the head of the household? Because if the man's not the head of the household, it will never work.
Well, for the last
Never.
50, 60 years, it definitely has been the women and the matriarchy has been leading the household.
And you see, that's why it's not
American
working.
culture. And also as well. Oh, before I even start talking, I mean, I know we have comments and we appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you
Love
guys.
the
Let's go ahead.
comments.
Sonia, sister Sonia, she says, give me 1 second. She said, God created men and women to be different. Men are 6 times stronger. Men need to function in the way that they are designed to be, and women need to function in the way that we're designed to be. And we're gonna go ahead and clap that up. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Astute Perception says yes, it was. And then Sister Sonia said again, she said, our children will never learn if they see us divided.
Yeah.
Then
Bang.
their marriages will never work because they never saw an effective marriage live out in front of them. It's also all about legacy. And then the Astute
Need a
Perception
legacy.
said, true, Renee, and true. We're gonna go ahead and cut that up. True.
Yeah.
True.
I like how they comments in
True.
there.
And we do appreciate the comments. And like we said, whether you agree or disagree, we're
Love
gonna
those
talk
comments.
about it
Yeah.
all one and the same. So we appreciate all the comments alike. And I appreciate you, Sonia, for letting me know it was you. Such a beautiful thing to know. Such a beautiful thing.
Memory.
I appreciate it. But like I was saying, this gender war is a war of the enemy. Notice how Adam and Eve, the story of Adam and Eve, people just overlook. It is so much stuff in
But
the
it's
Bible.
powerful if you
It's powerful.
really
See,
listen.
Adam was in the
story.
garden and Eve was in the garden. There's no telling how long. Adam lived, 930 years or so? And there's no telling how many times he might have been tempted by the serpent, which was in the garden, to eat from the tree. But it wasn't until the serpent, set Eve against Adam that the dichotomy started. You understand what I'm saying?
Eve.
So
Simply, Eve got Adam.
the most effective way to get to a man is through his woman, period, since the beginning of time.
Right.
And the enemy knows
That's
this.
right.
So as long as the man
But
and the woman are
remember,
divided,
God
everything else
didn't
will fall because
care.
the head.
God didn't care. What did he say? Adam, what did I tell you?
Right, because he's the head, and the head was
Right.
cut off.
Remember?
So the body gonna fall, right?
That's right. Because
So
God
that's
ain't
what,
hear
that's
nothing.
what happened.
God don't want to hear no excuses. That's when I get on you, Dan. You remember? So that's the bottom line. The Bible don't want to hear about you keep blaming Eve. You can blame Eve all day and night. Because remember, God created Eve for us.
I'm not blaming Eve.
So Eve is the comfort for us. So Eve comes with the package.
I'm not blaming Eve at all.
So Eve
But
comes with the package.
like I said, I'm an advocate for black men. I'm also an advocate for men. I'm also an advocate for family, and I'm also an advocate, especially for black families.
Still got to
That
do
has
what's
to be
right.
that has to be specified.
Still have to do what's right.
And what's right is family. And this is what I'm saying. This is how we get along. And so it all falls along. I understand. I understand, and I overstand what they're saying when When they say politics without economics, I understand how family plays a part in the politics and the economical scheme, the grand scheme of things. Because this is how, remember, Arizona, what was this, yesterday or day before yesterday? Arizona just elected the first Latino senator of the state. And so this is what happens when you have family. And so I seen a black man cry because when he seen like some a group of Latino people that moved in next door to a house that been vacant for years and years, and they came in, and in a matter of a week or two, they fixed that house up like they've been living there for
I can do it.
years.
They can do it. It
He
doesn't
went
matter.
and broke down the crowd with a little bit of money, but all the people that they had and the resources that they were able to expenditure with them. And see, I think even white people can maybe benefit from this conversation too. I don't know their family dynamics and stuff, but we cannot live in a household where there's multiple families in the household anymore. But see, this economy is not built for people to be individualized. We don't even live in an economy, and I know people hate Kevin Samuels, but this is true. We don't even live in an economy where it's acceptable for a man or a woman to be alone. You need both incomes in the house. We don't
But
live in that type of economy of back in the day. It's just a pure
but
fact.
you but
We live. My father used to tell me this. One more thing. My father told me this. He said, "Young man, when I was coming up, you can get a good job without a high school diploma. Excuse me, without a college degree." He said, "Now in your day, people are struggling to get a good job with a college degree. It's a totally different time."
it is a totally different time. But listen, when it comes to the finances and all that, you have to go to God. Because first of all, you got to know who you are and what you're designed to do. God knows what you're designed to do. So what you're designed to do, you have to fill in that gap. That's when I tell people that personal relationship. You got to know who you are. Because a lot of people burn themselves out unnecessarily. All those jobs doing all that is not. Then you got to find your significant other at the same time and work together. See, these things, it takes time. And most of us at your age don't even know yourself. You don't. All over the place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the time to get to know yourself. And when I'm saying compatible, because your wife can be home making different things. I told people this is so simple. Making dinners. These restaurants sometimes are the worst cooks ever, but they would go to the restaurants because you need to eat. But you know you could sell a couple of dinners and make the money. It is so many different ways you could do things.
Right.
So
and
many.
and that will go along with group economics. And like I said, this program we already know is made to deprogram you to what you've been programmed to. By the way, shout out BMore4Real. If this is your first time joining with us,
Be
make sure you
more
like,
for
share, and
real every
subscribe.
Wednesday
Hit the
night,
notification
y'all.
button. Hit the notification button so every time we go live, you'll be notified. We rated off for reality. Brought to you by way of Real Explosion. I mean, the
Yeah.
realest conversation on the internet that you're gonna ever hear. We're gonna talk about it all from religion to politics to everything. It does not even matter. We are going to talk about it,
We
and
definitely are.
the power of the conversation is important. As I digress, um, we're going to learn very soon as black people and as people period that we have to talk about things that really matter. So for instance, like when we get to the gender war and all that stuff and we get to talking about how there was a systemic breaking, like we were talking about abortion, like we were talking about Jim Crow, like we were talking about slavery. There has always been a plan in place to break down the family, especially of the people of part of the diaspora.
Yep.
And this is very important to break down and realize. There has always been a strategic plan to break down the family, even when it came down to welfare. In the 1975, or what was it, 1975 welfare system was introduced, no
Late
fault
60s,
divorce
yeah, early
and all that
70s,
stuff.
yeah.
When you start realizing that, and because prior to 1960, 80% of black children were born in two-parent households.
Mm-hmm.
After they start
Yeah,
introducing the no-fault divorce,
absolutely.
the child support, the welfare, then you see by 1985 that 80% of black children were born in single-parent households
Yeah.
in a span of 20 years. And that's what I'm saying. There was systemic, there were systemic laws and stuff like that put in place to break us apart. And we can't just unacknowledge
No,
that
but
either.
see, these are two different ways when you say laws. They may have been laws, but they were not laws to break us up. Those were decisions, Daniel. These were decisions. They were decisions that we made they were bad decisions.
Well, I agree, and I guess we're gonna continue to disagree on that. You know what I'm saying?
They were
because I'm never gonna
bad
back down.
decisions.
I don't think, and especially because I'm a black man and I had children myself. I had 3 sons. I got 4, a bonus son. I got 4, and you know the whole thing about it is that
Now, let's stop you right there.
Hold on. The whole thing about it is
So
the whole thing
I'm gonna
about
give
it
you
is
a
I would
decision.
never intentionally just abandon my kids. Like
So
I don't.
Is there a reason
You
with
know what I'm
you?
saying?
So
I mean,
is there
it's
a
they my
food
kids, so
stamp
I don't think that black
saying?
men. Okay, so to say when we go there, it's kind of sort of to say that black men are innately deadbeat fathers. And then another thing too, on the flip side too, that we don't look at, and that's why I say this show is made to deprogram people to make the what we've been doing programmed to.
Absolutely, it
To
is
what we've been
definitely.
programmed to. So when mama's struggling, right? When mama can't do for the kids, mama is trying to make it. Mama's a good mama. She just been struggling. She been trying to make it. But when daddy can't do, when daddy broke, oh, he a deadbeat. Oh, for sure. And he's going to jail too if the court's involved. That's messed up. This is what I'm talking about. The psychological warfare and attack that's on men and fathers is crazy, and especially child support too, because especially fathers that maybe he doesn't have the best job opportunity, but to say that he hasn't spent time and hasn't been trying to be a father, to say that he deserves to go to jail. What is he going to do from jail?
It's crazy. But let me tell you how it starts.
Isn't
to
that further
tear
dividing
our
the family?
black family up all the way around.
Isn't that further dividing the family?
But it tore our family all the way around, because when the father left out of the family, it took the mother that had to work too. So it means the kids was out of control. It tore the whole generation up, because if the mother is not there, we need the mother. You understand? So that's how it all got torn
apart. But the father
apart.
is equally important, and that's what we forgot. The father. We never forgot the mother. We forgot the father,
but
though.
That's how it is. When the head of the household leaves
I'm a
out,
father.
that's how the domino effect happens.
I'm a father, so I have to speak for those, especially that's destitute. And so that's another thing too. And that's why I say I don't know if people really believe in religion the way they think they believe in religion. And I don't mean no disrespect or anything. Pure religion is taking care of the motherless, the fatherless, the people that can't speak up for themselves, those that are homeless, and all that stuff. This is what we are supposed to do. That's pure religion. Not getting up there and seeing how much clothes you got, what you come to church in, and how much money you putting off, or whatever the case may be, on what they doing with this Christian stuff and Christianity in churches and religion worldwide.
Church lost what the purpose of church is.
The purpose of humanity is to be humane.
Church has no purpose. It's all on these religions. That's why they lost the purpose.
It's become to a point where as though we even could have the term homeless veterans. Now, could you imagine that? Could you imagine that the two words could be put in the same phrase? It's crazy as hell. But this is America. This is what goes on even across other countries of the world. Before I keep going on, man.
Watch this, Daniel.
We're not going to know the comments. Let's go ahead to the comments. We have some comments.
Yeah, because I had a word or two on that one. Because if we ran things, it will be different.
Sonia, she said, let's break these generational curses. Yes, like you said.
I definitely agree.
She said, Daniel. She said, like you said, Daniel. And the other host said, Uncle Wayne. The cabal used Margaret Sanger to tear down the family, especially the black family. Of course she did. She also said they also taught many liberal women to hate their babies and to fight against and hate. Excuse me, let me go over this again. They also taught many liberal women to hate their babies, to fight against and hate and disrespect the ideal of family, and men being the head of the household. Of course they did. Astute Perception says, amen. Okay, y'all cooking over there in the comments. Y'all cooking over there. She says, however, we often forget that the Bible says The man has to submit to God. Just like we have to submit to the man. So submission is on both parts.
Yeah,
Then she says, plus, it doesn't matter who God blesses to bring in the most money. We must support each other in the most money. Excuse me. We must support each other. We work together as a team, do our part, and help each other and make agreements,
As a
decisions
team
together.
and together.
And then the
like
street procession says, thanks for the clarification on that subject. I'm trying to tell my wife that same thing.
Oh, y'all go ahead and put it in the
That's
comments.
it. I appreciate
Y'all,
all that.
y'all doing y'all thing.
As a
Y'all doing y'all
team
thing.
and together, I agree
But yes, we work as a team.
wholeheartedly.
But that's what the gender war is doing. Is what it's doing is breaking down the family. And once the family's divided, oh well, you voting Republican, you voting Democratic. No, I'm voting for Kamala and women's rights. I'm voting for Donald Trump and being liberal or whatever the case may be. It's all an attack on the enemy. And so I know a lot of people don't believe in the Bible and don't understand the Bible and overstand and understand the Bible. And like I
don't
said,
understand how nobody don't believe in the
like,
Bible, though.
I know, and I'm like, what's so bad about the Bible that you don't want to believe in?
Sorry, I don't
What
understand
in the
nobody
Bible
don't
don't you
believe in
want
the
to
Bible.
believe in, and what about the Bible is so bad that you don't want to believe in? But as I digress, the Bible says, like we always said, divide and conquer. That's the enemy. That's the tool of the enemy.
That's what's
Um,
happening.
And as I like to say, knowledge is knowing the way, and wisdom is the application of knowledge. The Bible puts it like this in Hosea 4:6. It said, "For my people were destroyed for the lack of knowledge."
Lack of knowledge.
And so it's still the same thing. The lack of knowledge is the lack of the application of knowledge. We know better, but we don't do better. My mother used to say, "If you know better, you do better."
Do better.
How
Yes.
could you know better?
You know
if
better,
don't-
you do better.
It just you gotta show it. You can know it. You gotta show it. Knowing is only half the
Know
battle.
better,
That's
you do
another
better.
one. Knowing is only half the battle. They always say this stuff, but I don't think we understand the gravitas and the gravity of what's actually being said and what's actually being done. So of course, man has to submit to God, and I'm glad she said that because a lot of these men out here as well too, you don't have any morals. There's nothing to submit to. This is the problem that's lost with America. We got a lot of people living out here, and these are dangerous people. I don't care who it is. If they don't have morals, do not trust them. Just don't. And that's why I love paying attention to the Bible and paying attention to the word because it's morality. It's like it's a standard. Look, we are under attack by the enemy. The Bible says when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord is going to lift up a standard. That's what it says. But what is the standard? And see, I think that's where it's lost, and they're not teaching this anymore. They let anything run wild and rampant around here and crazy. But I'm telling you, the Spirit of the Lord is going to lift up a standard. And he said, come out from among them and be ye separate. How could you be separate with the same mindset as everybody else? That's why I pay attention. I'm like, look, if everybody else like it, it must be something. It got to be a spirit behind it. But we are so hypnotized, and I use that word strategically. We are hypnotized by the media and the music and everything else like that we fail to see it. That's why the Bible say that they're going to have itching ears in the last days, that they're going to heap to themselves teachers. They're going to get these doctrines of demons and devils and all this other stuff because that's what you want to hear. Another word for that is confirmation bias. We brought that up on the set. Stop having confirmation bias. This is why I say it. Look, even if you don't like us, even if you don't like Uncle Wayne, even if you don't like OMG Danny, even if you don't like BMore4Real, don't just listen to everything that you like. Have a podcast, have a format, have something that you listen to on the adverse side. Don't just be listening to stuff
that's how you grow.
It jive with how you feel. Listen to something that can challenge the way you feel and the way you think. And let this be your podcast. Subscribe and do all that good stuff. Real talk.
Look, I tell you, you got to put manure on some of the best crops in order to get the field to grow. You know what I mean? I tell people all that. You don't understand that sometimes. You actually got to put manure on there. You understand? Get through that smell to learn something, to grow. You know what I mean?
If that ain't the truth. And see, I know a lot of people would like to disagree with the conversation, the way it's said and all that stuff, but check this out. Even Christ, right? And so I like to try to look into the life of Christ, right? In the life of Christ, right? They used to say that he was crazy. Look at the responses that he got when he talked and all that stuff. A wise man want to say this too. They used to say Jesus walked on water because he couldn't swim. That's what they would say. That's what they would say. That's what these folk nowadays in social media. I'm telling you, nowadays on social media, that's what they would say. That's what they would do. Oh yeah, he walked on water because he couldn't swim.
He didn't add this.
Oh yeah. He made 5 loaves and 2 loaves of fish because he couldn't cook. You understand what I'm saying? That's just the reality of the situation. But when we look at to what the life of Christ was, when he spoke, people used to say he was crazy. He always just speaking parables and all that stuff. They thought he was a lunatic. Don't take my word for it. They called him a drunk. Look into the Bible. Look into the words. It's the people that got these soothing words that make you feel comfortable. Those are people robbing you blind. Like what the Bible say? They said why they flatter you with your tongue, why they flatter you with their tongue, they prepare a net for your feet. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it's those people that's been tripping you up the whole time.
And so I've learned this.
Conversation is hard to handle.
But
I'm telling you,
I've learned in life that's what people want. People are a glutton for punishment.
Right.
They are. They like for you to whisper sweet nothings in your ear and promise things that you will never get. We are so adjusted to that. That's what we like. We do. And even the new generation, they love to argue. They love to fuss. I don't even know why it's like that. They don't like a solution to problems. They don't like to resolve. They don't like to get up and have a lovely day. They claim to because they don't like to do the hard work. They don't like faith.
Right.
You know?
Right.
They don't.
Right.
So when you say that, it is. But when I say being head of the household, that's what your house has to be like. You have to be an example of what it's about. When I say a man has to be a head of his household, when you walk into his house has got to be an example of what he's about.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Take a second out and like the stream. Man, we appreciate y'all. This is the realest conversation on the planet. If you never heard the conversation before, make sure y'all go ahead and tune in. Like I said, look, at least if you don't like it, at least subscribe so you don't have that confirmation bias. They always want y'all to have.
If you don't like it,
they always want y'all to listen to some things that don't challenge you. Come on, man, we here to challenge you. Be more for real. Rated R for reality, man. I'm your co-host, OMG Danny.
I am Uncle Wayne.
Man, we gonna catch y'all next Wednesday, man. We appreciate y'all for real.
Be blessed.
Be more for real.